Hi, it's Marcy again with another little video segment on food safety. I hope you enjoy it. In this section of the course, Sung will discuss appropriate temperatures and time requirements for automatic or mechanical dishwashers, as well as manual dishwashing. He'll discuss the need for heat boosters and steam control, and explain the differences between using conveyor type versus stationary automatic dishwashers.
All right. Now let's get into discussing how we can use these appropriate sanitizers and the knowledge of different sanitizer concentrations to help us in washing dishes properly and safely. Dishwashing, I don't know about you, but I've done my share of dishwashing, and sometimes it's actually pretty fun. You just get in the mode and the dishes come in, you scrape, you do your 3 compartment, or you're doing it in between with the automatic, and you get a nice flow going. Okay, you get sweaty, your fingers turn out like prunes, but it has its moments where I've definitely done my share. But anyway, in your system, you may already know how your system works. You know the sanitizers you use, so you may feel like, I already know this section. But let me just give you a little heads up. It's not that easy in this section, and the reason for that is this. First of all, there are heat sanitization systems, and there are chemical systems. Then there are the automated systems, and there are the manual systems. And then you have 3 different types of sanitizers: chlorine-based, iodine, and quaternary ammonium-based. And the manual systems use different concentrations than the automated systems for different lengths of time and exposure. And then in addition to that, in the heat systems you have variance in temperature. And the automated temperatures are different than the manual system temperature requirements. So when you put all that together, it can get quite confusing. So we're going to take this one by one. And I would recommend that when you're going through this section, just stop the video on each section and look at the concentrations and the temperatures carefully so you can study them before you proceed to the next section of the video. All right, so we're going to start first with heat sanitization. In a heat sanitization, the only thing that is destroying all the germs on the dishes, that would be anything from bacteria to viruses such as hepatitis A that a diner may have carried with them, or even cold or flu viruses. Just basically anything we're trying to get it safe and sanitary for the next diner. And not only that, of course, all the equipment we're using in the preparation of our foods. In a mechanical, that is an automated dishwashing system, we have different types of machines. There are machines where they're stationary rack type. In other words, what that means is when the dirty dishes come in, you're going to scrape off all the leftover food. You're going to use a sprayer to spray down and get rid of as much food as you can. Then we're going to rack it, and then we're going to open the machine, slide the rack in, close it, turn it on, and the rack does not move. It's a single rack stationary machine, and there are those that are operated like this, and they're single temperature type. In other words, the temperature of the water does not change. It's the same temperature throughout the whole cycle. If it's a heat automated machine type, then the final rinse temperature for the sanitization process is required to be a minimum of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. However, if we have a dual temperature heat sanitization machine or a conveyor type, in a dual temperature heat sanitization machine, just like it says, we have 2 different temperatures. The washing and the rinsing is done at one lower temperature, but then for the final heat sanitization, the temperature is much higher. And in a conveyor type, the rack is actually going through the machine and then finally exiting out of the machine. So it's moving through the machine. That's a conveyor belt type. And that also, the temperature is fluctuating. So in those situations, those types of machines, the final sanitization temperature is required to be 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So to recap, stationary single temperature heat sanitizing automated machine, 165 degrees. Dual or conveyor type machines, the final temperature for the sanitization, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's talk about heat sanitizing in a manual system. In a manual system, we have a 3-compartment sink. Some of us, if we have a really old operation where it's been in business, say 30, 40 years, you may have a 2-compartment sink, because originally health departments allowed the use of two-compartment sinks. In the last couple decades, it has been a requirement for all food operations to have a minimum of a 3-compartment sink. So they may have allowed you to be grandfathered in because of the previous laws. But for a 3-compartment sink, which is also how the exams will most likely be asking the questions about, in a manual system, basically the dishes are coming in full of leftover food, and they're stacking up over here. First thing the dishwasher would do was take the plate full of foods, scrape all that off. Then he's got the 3 compartments set up. The first compartment is for washing, and it's got the dishwashing soap. The center compartment is nothing but just warm water, and that's simply for rinsing. And then the 3rd compartment is where the sanitization gets done. And this could be either done with heat or with chemical sanitizer. In this case, we're talking about the heat, so the temperature of the water has to be super hot. The requirement by law, this final heat sanitizing temperature requirement for this 3rd compartment is at least 171 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's a pretty hot temperature, and for certain you will burn your hands. So that means the dishwasher should be provided with long rubber gloves to protect from burning. The racks would have a hook system to be able to handle that and dip it down without getting their hands into the hot water. That water does change in temperature over time, so you would need an automatic heat booster attached to the bottom or the side of it to keep that water hot at the minimum 171 temperature, or it's coming in that hot from your water heater, which itself has a separate booster. Okay, so typically a normal water heater is only providing hot water at about 125, 130 degrees. So for a heat system, you're going to need additional equipment. In addition to that, both the automated machines and the manual systems, when you're using heat as a sanitization process, is going to produce a lot of steam. And it's just going to start to accumulate throughout your kitchen and on the ceilings, which means you'll probably have to have an additional hood system over that to suck up all that steam. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a lot of mold and mildew.
AAA Food Handler Training School offers programs for basic food handlers, certified professional food safety managers, convenience store food safety managers, grocery store food safety managers, as well as certified food safety HACCP managers, which prepare you to take and pass ANSI-approved exams from the National Registry of Food Safety Professionals, ServSafe, and Prometric. By working with over 2,500 testing centers throughout the United States, we can easily schedule your exam at a date and time that is convenient to you. Also, please visit our website, www.aaafoodhandler.com, for interesting newsletters, articles, and products regarding the food service industry. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel and click the like button to help us promote this knowledge. To find all of our YouTube videos, search for AAA Food Handler Training School and then click the result that has the light blue logo for AAA Food Handler Training School. When the next screen comes up, click Videos, and then you'll see all of the videos we have available. Thank you.